Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is January 29th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery with the air mass characteristics overlaid. You can see the much warmer air, subtropical and tropical air to the south, and the yellows and the greens, and the much cooler air off to the north here, spilling out across Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Alaska. And of course, where that boundary meets is where we develop these mid-latitude cyclones and continue to pump that atmospheric river activity into the Pacific Northwest. We have some record warmth here across the West Coast, but that's about to change, and this is the frontal system that's going to do it back here to the north of the Hawaiian Islands. This is going to bring a very potent system all the way from Northern California through Southern California. There's flooding potential, thunderstorm, wind, heavy precipitation, big wave action also is going to accompany some of this. So yeah, we got it all with that frontal system here, folks. And then we may not be done because confidence is increasing in another vigorous system here through the extended forecast. We're going to look at those details as we go through the video this morning. Taking a look at the rainfall forecast Wednesday through Thursday AM. I mean, look at some of these amounts, and no doubt some of these are going to be locally higher and more intense. There's numerous shallow landslide potential with this, flooding of creeks and streams, some urban and small stream flooding as well. And again, powerful winds and some wave action. So watch out, especially if you're near the coastal areas here during high tide. We could have some interesting, minor coastal flooding, I should say, going on, but you could have some beach erosion as well. Now, looking at the weekly weather risk outlook, this is all the way down through San Diego, and you can see by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, you can see the rain. They're mentioning the big surf also. But in the meantime, today, tomorrow, pretty warm here across much of the state before the pattern change in that frontal system comes swooping down as we go on the day Wednesday. Taking a look at high winds Tuesday night through Wednesday, some big gusts along the coastal areas, especially some of the higher terrain. And this is from 10 p.m. Tuesday to 4 p.m. Wednesday right now. And now we have rain and high elevation snow later this week for Arizona as this frontal system swoops down. It's going to drop the snow levels down to around 5,000 feet, cool things down, and bring some rainfall. And that secondary system also could be targeting Arizona with some nice rainfall as well. We'll look at that more as we go on into the next few days. But looking at the national blend of models, I mean, check out today. We're going to be quite warm across the area, so enjoy that if you like this warm weather here, all the way up into the mid-70s for some of the valley areas. Pretty warm up towards some of the Bay Area. Saw some of the individual temperatures up in the mid-70s as well possible. Then we go through tomorrow, still another pretty warm day. The frontal system still not quite here yet, but then as we go into Wednesday, you'll notice things starting to cool down from north to south, and we go into Thursday and Friday, and then you clearly see the pattern change, temperatures plummeting here across much of the southwest as that colder air mass ushers in. Now, taking a look at the day 3 excessive rainfall outlook, this is Wednesday morning through Thursday morning here, and the slight risk of some flash flooding conditions here, mainly Bay Area north right now, but probably headed for some upgrades. And if we look on to day 4, they've already put that slight out for some portions of Southern California, Santa Barbara and Ventura County, Los Angeles Metro, and San Diego is included in that as well. And the high-resolution models are almost in range for a lot of this activity, so we'll be watching that as we go through the day tomorrow. Also, a live stream coming tomorrow as well, as the storm system will be right off our shoreline here, and we'll be able to have some better details on exactly what is going to occur. But still, pretty good agreement here between all the models in this initial frontal system, as has been the case for the last few days. Now we're looking to look at the Canadian model here on the left versus the GFS on the right. This is the American model here on the right, and the Hawaiian Islands are at the bottom left there. And this is that initial front that's kind of still going off to the north. And then our potent frontal system just comes blasting in here Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Some big precipitation totals showing up. And you can see the timing getting a little bit better here as well. This would be about Wednesday afternoon. So that's when the heaviest rain is probably going to be flying here across a lot of the Bay Area. And that could really be impacting the commute. Some very heavy rain, some very gusty winds as well, as the Canadian and the GFS are both showing huge precipitation amounts. You can see this front propagate down the state. Look at some of these totals. I mean, you're talking about 3 inches in a 6-hour period on the Canadian model there, and still pretty good amounts in the GFS also. And this moves across the Los Angeles Metro through San Diego. No place along the coastal areas will be spared with this frontal system, and some nice precipitation across Arizona as that kicks through. And then you can see this next slug of subtropical moisture making its way across the Pacific Ocean. And the models have been trending, pretty good model agreement with that low sitting off the coastline here. And if this thing slows down and spins and continues to pump subtropical moisture into the state, especially after a heavy rainfall event with that initial frontal system, this could really be causing some serious issues. And you can see that both the GFS and the Canadian have some very heavy rainfall, and some at times even training over the same same area near Los Angeles here. That could be some really nasty flooding. So we'll be watching that. We have time to look at this here. And if I back up, you can kind of see that the storm, we'll be able to watch that storm developing as we go through Friday coming up here. So we have a few days to watch this here, but this has some pretty high-end potential as far as impacts across much of the state. And this is the water off the coastline as well. So any storm system that approaches is going to have this little extra boost versus normal here, as this is the sea surface temperature anomaly. It adds that lower level lapse rate, that warm water vapor, which really can help with some of the instability and adding just a little bit of extra punch to the rainfall amounts as they come down, and thunderstorm activity as well. And looking at significant wave height. So if we scroll on in towards Tuesday now, you can see some of that wave height action start to increase as we go towards Wednesday morning, moving down towards the Bay Area here and all the way down across Southern California. So watch out, high tide. You could have some minor beach erosion here. Some high surf advisories are no doubt going to be going out as we really increase this wave action. And in fact, let me update this because the 12Z European is running. In fact, that's why I waited on this video here so I could show you some of this data. Let's go through that again. And we go through Wednesday and Thursday, end of the week here, elevated wave action. And then let's check out that next system on the European. There it is, starting to bring some more wave action here as we go on in through later portions of the upcoming weekend on into early next week. Also, we've got wind potential with this as well. So let's look at that. Here we go. System rolls, and then you can see that frontal system just blasting down the coastline. I mean, you could get some gusts up towards 50 plus right on the coastal areas, maybe San Francisco International Airport even. You can see those strong winds come down to Southern California. Then the big wind shift, just classic cold front wind shift coming all the way down, ushering in that cooler air mass. And then the next storm system batters up. Here we go. And look at that thing. I mean, that is going to be bad news here, folks. It's a good thing we have some advanced warning on this here, though. And there is good model agreement so far. And this is the European hot off the presses. Let's see if it agrees with the Canadian and the GFS. You saw that it probably did from a few hints I just showed you with the wind and some of the wave action. But let's take a look here. Frontal system comes roaring down. Big totals here. Fast and furious accumulation with this precip amounts. Could include some of the Los Angeles and San Diego and Metro. Again, the only good thing about that frontal system is that it is so progressive, and it'll be dropping that precip and then getting out of Dodge. And then we look at the next system here, and this is just nasty. I mean, my goodness, look at the subtropicals tap all the way down towards the intertropical convergence zone, just bringing this deep moisture back up over the state, potentially multiple rounds of it. And this is not that far off into the future here. And as you saw, all models are in agreement right now. Now, this is looking at total precipitation in inches. We're going to update this here really quick because I know the European is running as I'm speaking. Put this into motion, and there goes our frontal system again. I've been talking about that, seems like, for over a week now. And then that secondary system. You don't need to be a meteorologist to know that this is bad news here, bringing that much rainfall over a short amount of time, especially across Southern California. And no doubt some of these amounts would be higher when the high-resolution models get into range. Now, taking a look at the crystal ball here. So we're looking at the spaghetti chart. You can see why we have been pretty warm here with the ridge setting up over the Great Basin. We continue off into the future here, and you can see our frontal system really drive down across the state here. And as you go off into the future a bit more, you notice that the spaghetti noodles get a little bit more noisy, but you can see there is pretty good agreement on that next system, even though we go far off into the forecast. And it's really not that far off even. I mean, you're looking at 138 hours there and 156 hours there. Pretty good model agreement here on this storm setting up shop off the coastline. However, things can still change, so make sure to check back daily. This is all the way up towards Northern California. You can see some bigger gusts coming in here, and this is mainly Wednesday morning. This would be San Francisco. This will be Wednesday afternoon when these winds start picking up with the arrival of that frontal system. Check out the control, 50 miles per hour. A lot of the members up over 50 also, so there could be some tree damage and some local power outages. Lake Tahoe, check it out. It's going to be breezy and windy across the higher terrain. And look at Los Angeles. Here's the initial frontal system here on last night's European model. And then you can see the potential for this very heavy rainfall with that secondary system here. Still, some of the ensemble members are going to be all over the place, and that's going to be the case for the next few days until we get some better agreement. But this initial one here, I mean, look at the control run brought up over 2 inches here, and that's going to come really fast, maybe even over a 6-hour 10-hour period here across the Los Angeles metro. So definite flooding concerns with that. And that's what we're going to do a live stream about tomorrow. So San Diego as well, big rainfall with the first system and then the potential for it with that secondary system there also. So Yeah, looking a little bit concerning there through the extended. Mount Shasta, you can clearly see the pattern change coming here as we go through the day. Wednesday, temperatures just crashing back down. This is at 4,800 feet, and you can see the high snow and levels and freezing levels in the meantime. Truckee, Tahoe, big crash coming here as we go through the day of Thursday. This is Big Bear City Airport. You can see the crash coming right at the end of the run here. This would be about Thursday afternoon when it ends. And now looking at total snow in inches, national blend of models. Put it into motion here. Here goes our frontal system, and it could be dropping some heavy amounts across some of the higher terrain. The snow levels are going to be crashing when that frontal system comes rolling through here also, and hopefully we can build up some of that snow. And you'll notice it kind of upticked again here, and depending on the trajectory of that next system, we could really be building up some nice snow across the Sierra Nevada, and we definitely need it as we are behind normal so far this time of year. Here's the 6 to 10 day. You can clearly see this as we go through February 7th. It should not be a surprise if you've been watching the channel, and that increased potential for above average precipitation as we go through the extended. And again, we're going to kind of watch this over the next few days. Hopefully those systems can get us up towards the 50th percentile. We'll see how that goes. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below. It's all solar powered. It does ambient light, UV index, solar radiation. It's just an awesome station to watch. And you can check this all out on your smartphone no matter where you go. There's no batteries or anything like that. Lightning detection system. Highly recommend it. Click on that link down below. But anyway, yeah, so I'll start getting the word out here on the channel that we are going to do a live stream tomorrow. This system will be much closer. It'll be bearing down on us here, and we'll have better information. The high resolution models will be arranged. We'll be in range. We'll talk about a lot of different stuff here coming with that storm, and then we'll have a better idea on what's coming in the wake of that one as well. So anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We will do this again tomorrow, and then we will do a live stream tomorrow night or tomorrow evening, and I hope to talk to you guys then. Hopefully you guys can join for that. So anyway, I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.